Okay, I know I've got some catching up to do. Day 29 and day 30, I'm on a business trip, and so it's really hard to find time to watch any of this testimony. But here's what I know after hearing more from Dr. Wolf and Dr. Lapisato is that John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car. There are no broken bones or fractures or bruises in the places that they should be if his body had come in contact with a vehicle. There is also not the type of patterns on his arm that would be consistent with a car strike. Sorry, that noise you hear is the AC just kicked on, and thank God it is freaking roasting in this room. Anyway, the scratches on his arm are inconsistent with a car strike. What they are consistent with is animal bites and scratches. We weren't allowed to say dog, but we are allowed to say animal. But Dr. Lapisato made it clear that it happened before he died. So whatever animal named Chloe that attacked him, it happened before he died. John O'Keefe did not die of hypothermia. In fact, John didn't even have frostbite in all of the places you would expect somebody to have frostbite if they had been laying in a snowstorm for almost 6 hours before being found. The fact is that John died of blunt force trauma to the back of the head, which caused multiple skull fractures in both the back and the sides, and caused a brain stem herniation. Basically, the brain became so swollen it had no place else to go. So it was basically trying to exit the skull down the spinal column. This would have rendered him immediately incapacitated, making it absolutely impossible, 100% impossible, that he took further steps, that he got up and walked around, that he tried to defend himself, anything. Once he fell and hit his head, John would have died no matter what. Getting him, even calling 911 and getting him to the best level 1 trauma centers in the country would not have helped. He didn't have that kind of time. That's how major the fractures were to his skull. A cut in the back of your head that causes a fracture and causes severe fractures on the side of your skull does not come from hitting your one eyeball on a spoiler on the back of a 6,000-pound vehicle that is barreling at you at 24 miles per hour. John did not get a small cut above his eye from the spoiler of the SUV. Like Dr. Lapisato said, if the spoiler had hit him in the face, it would have been a long bruise going across the face, not a small gash above his eye. Let's talk about their cross-examinations, because attorneys during cross-examination will absolutely bring a gun to a knife fight. I get that. But Hank Brennan brings a fucking Uzi to his grandmother's birthday party because that is his MO. His MO is strong man, bully, mob boss kind of guy. And it just doesn't work when there are two people on the stand that are infinitely more qualified in their fields of expertise than he is, and who have both testified often enough to understand this type of bullying tactic and manage to stay calm throughout the entire time. Now, I do wish at some point when he started asking Dr. Wolf about the injuries, well, what caused the scratches and what caused this and what caused that? And did you know where the position of the body was? And did you know this? I wish Dr. Wolf would have just said, my job was to discuss the damage to the car. I'm here to testify to the damages to the car. I'm an expert in damages to cars after body strikes. There will be other witnesses that come to tell you this. Hank basically gets them on the stand, and he knows that you're a specialist in, say, gorillas, and he just keeps asking you questions about zebras. And your whole option is to sit there and go, I don't know, that's not my expertise, He's trying to make you look stupid that you don't know anything about zebras. Well, you're not fucking there to talk about zebras, Hank. You're there to talk about gorillas. But he doesn't want to talk about gorillas because that's the elephant in the room. Sorry, I can't help myself. He tried to do the exact same thing to Lapisato. Her breathing had me nervous. Her breathing pattern was like, I thought, is she having a panic attack? Maybe she's nervous about her cross-examination. Well, I think what she was doing was psyching herself up, because the minute he walked up to the podium, she was like, it's game on, let's do this. He starts to talk about, well, could he have been saved? Could a doctor have saved him? She's like, what's the job of any doctor? To save a patient? I don't work on live patients. She said this 3 or 4 times. I am a forensic pathologist. I don't treat living patients. When he started to go down that zebra path, when he started to be like, did you look at the Apple data? Did you look at where the body was positioned? Did you look at the Lexus car data? And she was like, no, I didn't need to because he wasn't hit by a car. And then he's like, did you look at this? She goes, I didn't need to. It was irrelevant because he was not hit by a car. When he asked about the ground, like, could he have hit his head on the ground? Was there rocks or pebbles or something underneath the grass? And she's like, typically dirt is underneath grass. She said she looked at the photos of the scene and the general area where John was found. And he was like, general area, as if she didn't do her homework. But how many days ago did we see Yuri Buchanan up on the stand talking about where the pieces of taillight were found? And when asked where were they found, he's like, in the general area, in the general area. Truth is, we can only use the words general area of where John's body was found. Nobody snapped any pictures. Nobody has any video. No one was wearing a fucking body cam. So no one knows exactly where John was. Good tells other officers tell Lank tells other officers, someone tells Mullaney, someone tells Proctor, someone tells Buchanan, and this whole big wicked game of telephone. His body was found in the general area of the flagpole. No one knows the exact precise location. You can see in videos the general area. So why is it okay for two entire police departments and an entire prosecutor's office to use the terms general area whenever they're presenting their evidence? But heaven forbid, the defense witness gets up there and says, well, it was in the general area, it was all grass. And suddenly general area isn't specific enough. Now I have to make a second video because I've run out of time, but I need to talk about those x-rays. That's the shot heard around the world.